Starting off strong with James A. Janice's favorite thing,
Title card.
Had to do a bit of research here, but you would think gasoline would eat through that endorsed bucket of KFC quickly, especially since this show is set before 2016, when KFC finally removed the plastic from their buckets. Then again, paper wouldn't hold up well against gasoline either. Maybe I'm thinking too much into this, as maybe he had enough time before it ate through. But you would also think he would have found something else to potentially store gas in besides this pristine-looking KFC bucket and McDonald's fries. Now, at your local KFC and McDonald's, go eat. The zombie in the distance notices Zach Galifianakis just in time for him to get a bit of gas so he can make a daring escape. Galifianakis almost runs a dude over without a second thought and keeps driving. Good, because you can't trust a stranger.
All women are queens.
Oh, he stops for a woman. Dude, don't do it. Don't think with your dick. Don't you do it. Don't do it. Oh, and he did. Why? The guy you almost ran over isn't too far behind, and he could easily run up on you. And why are you hesitating this long when either of them could be a threat and or making all this noise to attract a zombie? I mean, he waits for a long ass time before unlocking the door. Either do it or don't do it, but why wait this long? And she unlocks the door while hugging him so her boyfriend can open the door and unexpectedly open fire. Why, when she gets in, would you not start driving again with zombies about and a guy nearby? Galifianakis survived all of season 1 and gets shot in the neck over a girl. Look, I get it. It's meant to show you this series won't hesitate to kill anyone, no matter their history, in a flash to show how the harsh reality of a zombie apocalypse truly is. But did he have to pull a bonehead maneuver like this to drive that point across? Really? The couple argue over if killing Zach was necessary. As a fellow guy named Zach, I'd say no, but their arguing mixed with trying to wipe the blood from the windshield gets the car wrecked in seconds. Why would you floor the gas if you can't see while there's obstructions on the road? Oh! So they wrecked the car so Zach can come back within less than a minute to start chasing them? Oh, of course. Zombie Zach tackles the guy here, not getting bitten as the girl runs away with a handgun. You're telling me they worked together up until this point to pull this carjacking off? Jacking off. But instantly ditch each other at the first sign of a zombie? The newly turned Zombie Zach breaks through this door with no issue. I wonder if this strength will be consistent this season, unlike the last. Spoilers, it's not. Zach must remember his past self as he makes this chase sequence long and dragged out. The male survivor, instead of getting any kind of blunt or sharp weapon in the garage, decides, hey, I can lift this garage door within 2 seconds while being chased. Better not look for and grab anything to defend myself with. He gets outside and a group of 3 people are packing their car up. They see 2 yelling individuals rushing at their car, and instead of defending it or getting in their car and driving away, they run away from it, allowing the male survivor to steal their car and drag this chase scene out even more. Zombie Zach didn't even conceive of going after the 3 other screaming people, but here, nah, we have to have this really cool Fast and Furious type scene where he's hanging on the back of the car. Okay, so the new dude is driving at max speed for a while through this town with Zombie Zach on the roof of the car, and just like season 1, doesn't even consider slamming the brakes to send this zombie flying. Zombie Zach is able to smash the windshield with one thrust to start grabbing at the male survivor. Thank goodness the road during this chase scene is clear of obstructions to collide with, unlike the area immediately in front of the other car before. What? Instead of hitting the brakes, he keeps swerving left and right and then intentionally runs into a police barricade to send the zombie flying. You just killed a man to procure a car before. Now, you're willing to wreck a second vehicle and risk either injuring yourself or even killing yourself instead of using the damn brakes. Oh my God. Whee! Zombie Zach somehow lives flying to the concrete at 80 miles per hour. And instead of going to the wrecked car to claim an easy meal, he instead follows the sound of a dog barking. Oh, now he's easily distracted. Zach gets a moment to reflect on his life decisions. So as is tradition, we forget he exists to jump to a title card. Yet this time, it actually works, since they Naruto Shippuden time skipped 4 months ahead. Can we really call this Black Summer now? Shouldn't it be White Winter? Although I find it interesting to have a zombie chase in a thick layer of snow, why, after tripping in it, does he take a moment to look back at the zombie chasing you? Yeah, dude, he's still chasing you. There's always that scene of a survivor dragging themselves under something to be grabbed by a zombie, but somehow they just don't bite them, killing anyone or anything that enters the area. Brutal, but necessary in these trying times. Kinda saw it coming, but I'll take off a sin anyways. Title card to the middle of a Winter Forest brawl where everyone's shooting at each other and we don't have any context. So these armed guys are gunning down survivors, shooting one girl in the heart, and within just 3 seconds after being shot, she turns and starts chasing the others. Look, I get it, she died and you always come back unless the brain is destroyed, but that fast? I cannot wait for important characters later on that die to have a longer turn time for dramatic tension. So this militia dude is in a physical altercation and none of his group decides to help him out. Everyone else there is armed and shooting at each other, but not these two. This militia dude shoots the less dressed guy. He dies and his body flops on top of him. You'd think the militia dude would know this fast turn rate exists and would push him off, but he lets him stay on top of him so he can come back. Because he didn't have a good reaction time, militia dude gets bitten in the neck. You'd think he would have worn something to protect his neck like this girl and her scarves. And within 10 seconds of being bitten, the militia dude turns. So the bite can turn you instantly now too? Isn't it an infection that kills you and then brings you back? How would a bite to the neck or this infection kill you that quickly and then bring you back? She doesn't get bitten here long enough to shoot him in the head. She lays there with the body on her for a while and then scavenges it for supplies out in the open in the middle of a gunfight and doesn't get shot here. She is a sitting duck. She would have at least been hit once. Everyone is out in the open not getting shot until they all decide, oh wait, we should be in cover. And another instance of someone getting shot and turning like that. Everybody stops shooting as a plane flies overhead. Not one person in this mini war who are all out to kill each other thought, hey, they're distracted by that plane. Might as well pick a few off.
Hey, that's pretty good.
This tied up dude says his wife has a house and he wants water over and over. The people around him tried to press him for information on the house's exact location. And mid-conversation, he fucking turns into a zombie. He doesn't keel over dead. He doesn't show any signs of being bitten. No, he just instantly turns into a zombie to jump scare us. Look, I know I'm gonna have it in the comment section of people saying, oh, the virus is just mutating. It makes you turn quicker. Keep in mind, this is supposed to be a prequel to the series Z Nation. And in that show, a damn baby lasts longer than this guy. So the whole virus mutating to make the turn time quicker doesn't make sense. We get to the context right before the war started with a flashback started by a title card. The militia dudes are pressing this guy about the location of the house. And this guy's whole squad or some other squad is sneaking up on the militia dudes out in the open snow, and none of these armed men see them coming. They get surprise ambushed. The same events play out, leading to a snowmobile driving after the sound of the plane and a truck chasing after it. How did nobody in the truck shoot anyone in the snowmobile? Nope, they're just gonna crash into a pile of snow. The snowmobile approaches the house in question. After just half a minute of driving, they went through all of this war efforts to figure out the location of the house, and they just find it. I mean, it would be pretty easy to find a house like this out in the middle of a winter wasteland. Despite everyone else in the series being terrible shots, the mom can quick snipe the snowmobile driver to wreck them into a title card. We go back further in time or ahead in time. Look, the narrative in this story is really all over the the place. They're trying to pull off kind of a Pulp Fiction where it's in the past, then the future, then the present, but whatever. We get to this guy that he's up a tree. He tries to get down and a zombie comes running at him like a dog trying to get a squirrel. But when the zombie can't reach him, the zombie just runs off somewhere else with no noise or anything causing him to leave. I would think zombies would be relentless in trying to get someone up a tree. The guy gets down, gathers his dropped firewood, falls in the snow and looks back and goes, "Oh shit!" hesitating for a moment, seeing the zombie is coming back. Why do people stare at zombies and not move at all? Why? Stop messing with their wood and go, dude! He makes it to the front door and bangs on it while growling is going on behind him, but the zombie doesn't even come into frame until a few seconds after. Why does he sound so close, yet so far away? Cindy Lou Who, all grown up, points a gun at him with the zombie fast approaching. She waits until the last possible second to get him in and shut the door. Look, you're risking you and your daughter's lives over sending a message that you don't need anyone else? You're gonna let that zombie bust on in because you're just wanting to scare this guy? They have a conversation with the dude against the door, and every time he speaks, the zombie slams against it. Okay, so maybe this door is more sturdy, that's why this zombie doesn't have enough strength to break through it. But why wouldn't it attempt to smash through one of the windows nearby like Zombie Zach did earlier? Mama Lou Who apparently gunned down everyone, so why did she leave this guy alive? He's apparently a part of a group that she murdered. You think she would be like, oh, he's gonna want revenge, but no, she leaves him alive. We title card to a new character who has been ditched with a bullet wound in the stomach. Instead of trying to post up in a house nearby, he decides to trek out into the tundra injured on his own. We title card to the guy that wrecked Zach's car. Lucky for him, Zombie Zach left his ass alone over a barking dog. I'm surprised this carjacker didn't turn instantly into a zombie over having a broken nose. He is locked outside and starts preaching to the people inside, saying they are animals for leaving him outside.
Fucking bitch.
Say it again, fuckface.
Yeah, I will. They're all animals. That's what you become.
Bruh, you popped a guy in the neck after using your girlfriend as bait.
Oh, you savages.
He starts looking for cars to jack, and the third car he finds is a cop car. It's unlocked. Keys still in ignition. Battery still working. With a fully loaded pistol? This is a prime example of how convenient. He knows a zombie is nearby after hearing a scream. Instead of driving off, he starts talking to a piece of paper. You got handed this shit on a silver platter. What the fuck are you doing, dude? Start driving! Zach Galifianakis used headbutt. It was super effective. You would think the zombie stuck in the other cop car from earlier would have done the same at some point. Two homeless dudes are getting supplies from a store, this time with the shelves looking somewhat ransacked, when a random 13-year-old girl starts banging on the door for help. Don't acknowledge her, dude. She's making a ton of noise, and who knows if you can trust her, my dude. They tell this little girl to keep a lookout and just let her go to the back of the store? Wouldn't they want to keep an eye on a person they know nothing about? No, they're just gonna blindly trust her to go to the back of the store? The little girl lets in her mom, the Korean girl, and the injured black dude from earlier, and they all start screaming at the homeless dudes to leave the store. All that screaming and they're not worried about making noise or for these guys to return guns blazing? The daughter spends a lot of her time looking at toys. Yeah, I get it, the thought of a lost childhood, blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. That time reminiscing, though, would be really good time spent getting any supplies that you can survive off of. And their car's gas has been siphoned. You'd think they'd keep someone on lookout for their vehicle on supply runs for something like this to not happen. They stumble across a building with a car that's plowed through it and a zombie pinned. Instead of killing the zombie that's pinned by the car as soon as possible, they let it live as they scavenge, not even thinking of it possibly breaking free. Nah, let's take that chance for suspense. We don't want to kill a zombie that could possibly attack us. So this is further in the past, as the mom-daughter combo is forced to split from the Korean girl and black dude by that militia. Lucky for them, the evil entities never decide to check the room where the main characters are hiding before they decide to run off. The black guy is shot off screen. How did he get shot with none of the militia closing in on him? You would think he would get shot, fall to the ground, and the militia would see that, see he got injured, and slowly close in. But no, we don't see him anywhere. The Korean girl pushes him down the hill to basically hide him. them. But the militia didn't see that or check the bodies that were down there. It's not like checking bodies is a bad thing, because zombies in this universe instantly turn now instead of giving the dead body time to just sit there. And we get the 8th random flashback of unknown characters, brought to you by Ford. We keep our signs clean and working better than our actual cars.
For the last 12 years, Ford has built the bullshit Ford F-150. Fucking A.
A redneck father and son stop at a wall barricaded by junk. They sit there and say, "We probably shouldn't stay here, Pa." Gee, you think? Keeping your car running and not moving probably isn't the best idea in this situation. And here we have a nice change of rational pace. This guy in the tundra helping his frostbitten friend in the overturned ambulance straps him down before they go to sleep, just in case he dies of hypothermia. -1 sin for some kind of precautions to be taken. So his friend dies anyways, and gives the other guy time to think he only fell asleep. And then BAM! Jump scare zombie screaming! So I guess the turn rate isn't instantaneous? And the zombie breaks out of the strap anyways in seconds. 4 minutes of screen time are dedicated to this guy walking through the snow until he tumbles down a hillside perfectly near a bunch of dead bodies. Where were any of these bodies in these shots from above? He grave robs one of the dead bodies for mittens, even though the corpse is still alive, just stricken with frostbite and really unable to move. So cold does affect them. They don't explore this at all during the rest of the season, just for this convenient plot device to give him mittens. I refuse to see the logic in any of these characters voluntarily going out into the tundra in the dead of winter, despite being in a town that looked relatively warm with tons of fortifiable buildings to stay warm in. Oh, so they can stumble upon a fully furnished, nice-ass ranch home, just as God, the writers intended. The mom spends a minute lining up a shot on this zombie and misses. He finds her immediately, and instead of reloading and lining up a shot on a target running in a straight line, she gives up and runs? This zombie knows the mom and daughter are nearby based on smell.
What the hell is that smell?
But why haven't zombies used this to their advantage more, like Zombie Zach earlier? You think a lot of them would be using their sniffer at this point. They weasel around it and allow it to chase them until it gets close enough. Why don't the both of you, with your sniper and shotgun, take it out and then start knocking on the door for help instead of letting it get closer and potentially bite you? Nah, we have to let it live so it can get there so it can hit the door at the last second cliche while banging on the door to stress out everyone in this new group. Why are none of these windows barricaded? This group has apparently been here for a few weeks. This place looks completely untouched, like they just got here in the first day of the apocalypse. Won't zombies try to freely bust through windows if they feel like it? It's been shown that they do. A plane sometimes drops supply crates nearby, and the group just now starts debating whether to get it or not and who to trust to go get it. After this group has been there for a few weeks, you think they would have some kind of schedule and regiment to do this instead of hashing it out right then and there. Creepy guy insists Cindy Lou Who should go with the one guy on a run to get the supplies, even when she says no. You're wanting this new person who just got there to go on a run to the only source of supplies for you? Why? You already trust her that much? Why is there always just one zombie that finds a main character? Wouldn't there be more at some point, considering how much noise they make during their chases? I'm surprised more zombies aren't attracted to attempting to break into this giant house in the middle of nowhere instead of roaming the front yard like a squirrel. Oh, we can't have this guy leave for supplies without a zombie chase scene instead of, using one of those firearms that's in the house to kill the zombie? No, we have to have him narrowly escape the zombie and hope that the zombie doesn't turn around, find a window of the house, break through it, and potentially bite someone in said house. The weird inbred looking dude gets mad at the ladies for knitting a sweater. Listen, buck and fuck, you ain't doing much yourself when you could be boarding up windows and barricading every door. Why aren't they trying to make this place more safe? Tarnation! They have a whole ham radio with power set up upstairs when everything else in the house has been so untouched and modern. She says her fire axe went missing, and neither of these men are worried? Meth head mama has a rash that is noticeably spreading, and no one seems to be concerned learned much considering how this disease is still widely unexplained and mutative. So why are they sending this guy outside in the middle of the night for firewood? I mean, he's gonna have a flashlight. That's a bright light in the middle of the night. That is just asking for a fight or a zombie to bite. He's going out for wood in the garage? Dude, just use those paintings on the walls or anything else for firewood. Why are you risking your life for good firewood? Anything else will burn easily. The zombie from earlier burst from the darkness to drive this guy up a tree, explaining why he was up there until the morning. But don't these zombies usually give up after a short time if they can't reach a target? It's one way or the other, depending on what the story wants. Now that they sent someone outside to potentially die and he hasn't come back, they just now start breaking down furniture for firewood? Y'all had weeks to figure this shit out. Buck and Fuck keeps screaming and asking why she can't get the pilot on the radio. He has a shotgun pointed at her this whole time. She tries quick drawing a pistol on him. Why? Why couldn't you wait till he had his back turned earlier or later on? No, you're gonna pull a pistol on the guy that has a shotgun aimed at you. You gotta die in the dumbest way possible because of course. He absolutely blasts her. She goes down, he stares at her as she rises back up and doesn't shoot her again. Dude, I know, the turn time is bullshit too, but even if she turns back that quickly, double tap that hoe, bro. The redneck dude and the girl tumble down the stairs. Zombie girl goes nuts chasing everyone and eventually bites the old grandma. Nobody there was armed? What happened to the shotgun he had? No, only the main character who lost and found her daughter is serious enough about survival to get the shotgun out to kill the zombie. The daughter decides to open a window after 2 shotgun blasts went off. What? Why? Buck and Fuck destroys the ham radio cause he done too stupid to know how to use it.
I can hear him! I can hear.
Okay.
Passenger gone!
Thank fucking God. Why hasn't this been done sooner? -2 sins for these 2 psychos getting absolutely blasted without hesitation. Good on them. The well-written way the mother and daughter use this card game to non-verbally play out their plans. A card game called Past, Present, Future, where they both play aces during the present phase to signal to each other that they have to kill these people ASAP. -1 sin. We cut to a title card to explain that the black guy that was just kind of hiding in this cabin on his own was the one that grabbed the axe. And now, after all this is said and done, is staring at the mother and daughter sleeping, holding the axe. You know, some of these title cards are not necessary. Did we really need the title of The Axe as a caption when we see him holding the axe for 40 seconds and then cut to another title card? Well, we have the militia rolling up with the Korean girl, and the one and only zombie that has stayed at this house runs up and it takes 4 guys to gun it down. Shouldn't they be more trained or used to aiming for the head and conserving ammunition at this point? Mama Luhu knows a dangerous group is approaching and pot shots a shotgun blast at them, kind of giving away where she is. You know, you really should have saved that ammo or used the sniper that you handed your daughter to pick off 1 or more considering how many are outside. I think a sniper would have done you better.
Hey!
I need a gun. I need a fucking gun. Give me a gun. We're outnumbered. There's more of them. Come on. Let's give up.
I mean, he ain't wrong. The daughter takes a shot from upstairs, and so the enemy group fires in retaliation. But why do a majority of the gunshots get aimed specifically at the window Luhu's near though? Main characters can never be randomly hit by spray and pray in these situations. Proving my point, this non-essential character is the one that gets hit by a bullet, just so Cindy Luhu can throw him down the stairs so he can die and turn into a zombie. Convenient for Cindy Luhu that the other group the militia was fighting with earlier showed up at the exact moment to start another Cold War. This guy somehow doesn't get bit or shot here. A random person from this war just happens to stumble into the basement where Cindy Lou Who shoved the person that was shot. Instead of attacking this new guy, the basement zombie decides to build up tension before striking. I would assume the fall would have killed him instantly and made him turn into a zombie pretty quick. But no, this particular zombie gets to have stealth 100 for a bit. So the guy does get bit here, but he does put up a hell of a fight. But aren't bites supposed to make you turn quicker now? No, because we need to give him enough time to shoot himself in the head so we can have that disclaimer at the beginning. So it goes from everyone running all over the place randomly to the militia suddenly forming back up to sneak in the house? Why didn't they just stick together the whole time? Look how easy it was to break in through these windows, if only the current residents had boarded up. Why are these militia dudes so insistent on bringing the Korean girl along in handcuffs? It just seems detrimental to keep an unarmed person handcuffed and attached to you in the middle of a gunfight where zombies could come up at any moment. How does she never get shot when cuffed to an open position like this?
Dude, I'm good.
I ain't gonna lie, that was actually pretty funny. I would say I would remove a sin, but I don't think that was intended for a laugh. Good thing the guy handcuffed her to this wooden pole so she can break free easily and have a melee weapon. Two people show up at the door just in time for the Korean girl to be in front of it, pleading for her to open the door. Y'all are in the middle of a gunfight. If you're that desperate to get inside this house, you would bust that window open and open the door yourself. But no, you're not gonna do anything except sit there and call the Korean girl a bitch. Just like the creepy incels on Discord.
This is it.
Yeah! Thumbs the fuck up, baby!
Stop it. Get some help.
And we see more people in the background banging on the windows wanting to get in. Just break through the windows, it's easy. How does she not get shot in any of these situations? The Korean girl is about to get shot by a militia dude, even though they have actively avoided shooting her multiple times. And she is saved last second by this lady. The lady points a revolver at her, but is suddenly, out of nowhere, tackled by a zombie. How did this zombie silently approach her before screaming? The woman somehow doesn't get bitten here. Why do zombies, with the sole mission in their existence to bite people, tackle first instead of just directly biting them, especially when they get the drop on someone? The plane flies by again, dropping off 2 care packages. Seems rather random just to throw out supplies like this in the middle of the tundra, especially after radio chatter with this specific house was cut off last night after this guy cussed out the pilot. How many times are they going to use this trope? Hiding behind a not-so-hidden bathroom wall or small part of a room while an armed individual slowly approaches, but at the very last millisecond decides to turn around. I'm pretty sure you'd at least glance all over the room just so you don't get shot in the back. Mama Lou Who guns this person down. The guy next to the victim picks up her pistol and just aims it. This guy wasn't already armed in this skirmish. On top of that, he does nothing with the pistol, and these two don't even gun him down. Nobody shoots their guns in this situation long enough for the guy to be attacked by his turned friend and be pushed off the balcony. The random black dude we know nothing about that's been hiding in the house this whole time suddenly shows up in front of her, just shushing her. Shh. I swear, this was the most awkward scene for me as Cindy Lou Who suggestively and aggressively keeps pumping her shotgun.
Like to dance?
Morning, sweetie.
Daddy, what are you doing in here?
What did I come in here for?
It's her birthday, Dad.
These two militia dudes saw that this guy was looking at something in the bathtub and talking to it. But because the plane flew by, they decide to ignore him. They don't know who he is. But what good is knowing there's a plane if you're gonna skip out on something that may end up killing you? Conveniently, this guy that's been hiding in the house for who knows how long, don't even know why he's in the house in the first place, knows where the plane lands and says he knows the pilots. That is perfect for the main characters of the mom and the kid. They have a goal to escape. But Why didn't he reveal himself before all of this war shit started going down? So this war and all of the people, zombies included, suddenly died or cleared out when the plane flew overhead? That didn't stop the war last time. Zombies were still attacking and people were still shooting at each other. But this time, let's get out of here. Lay's potato chips for when you have nothing else to eat. This truck driving by doesn't think to check this overturned vehicle for supplies? Hey, we have two black characters. How should we portray them?
I figured, you could double up. Two brothers from the old hood and shit.
These two find a zombie stuck under a tree at a small campsite. They openly admit they need to kill it so they can scavenge what's under it. So they smash its head. -1 sin for actually not leaving a pinned zombie alive so you can get your supplies. Well, isn't that convenient? The dead camper had a loaded pistol, some alcohol, and more for them to procure right after complaining about not having any supplies. You gotta love how branded products are kept in perfect condition in a zombie apocalypse. Hey, we have two black characters. They should obviously already know each other.
Brother, I know you. Shit, man, I feel like I know you. Look, I know you. And I fucking know you, man.
Somehow, and end up getting in a fist fight. They duke it out and pass out in the forest, but wake up in time for a few screaming zombies to be nearby. Spears, that I just remembered the guy's name.
Spears. Nah, that ain't it.
I'm sorry, but he has this bullet wound in his stomach. And the other dude never asked to see this wound for himself.
Where you heading? Ow! You all right? You heard of some shit?
I'm good. I'm good. Look, man,
Look, man, if you gonna die in your sleep and turn all growly and shit, you need to let a brother know right now.
I'm surprised he didn't insist on seeing this wound earlier, considering, dying in any way means turning, and instantly for that matter. And you would really want to know how bad someone's wound is, because it's critically important to everyone else's survival. These two start taking a trip down memory lane and talking instead of keeping their senses sharp in case any zombies are nearby, being all stealthy. They saw a guy pass by on a horse hours ago, so they are hell-bent on killing the rider and taking the horse for themselves? What makes them so sure it's gonna come back? It's a guy on horseback. He would be long gone by now. For once, zombies are traveling in herds. Lucky for these two, after running for a minute, they find a cabin to bunker down in so the zombies can slam against the front door at the last second cliche. Wow, Left 4 Dead's better safe than sorry guy from the church really started a big cult in these woods. I'm gonna take a sin off because this scene and shot genuinely creeped me out and gave me vibes similar to the church scene from 28 Days Later. So this whole cult decided to kill themselves, but this guy doesn't have the guts to kill himself. So Spears shoots him. Wow, okay. Shooting the guy without hesitation, renegade QuickTime event style, wasn't something I really expected. So, minus another sin, that was actually interesting. So this cult had these eyeball-like insignias outside all over this controlled area. They made all this signage and all just ended up being dead. I was kinda expecting a little more instead of a 2-minute side story. But hey, that's not a bad thing. Thankfully, it didn't pull a Walking Dead and make the cult a threat for 2 to 4 seasons.
I just slid my dick down your throat, and you thanked me for it.
Thank you for not stretching out this plot point. -1 sin. 4 straight minutes of this shot. The horse somehow appears before them again, just no rider. Okay, but Spears, for some reason, pulls a revolver on the guy and gives him a look at the horse moment. Why does he want to kill him? Look, I know Spears has a history too much about being a criminal, but why would he want to kill this guy? He's been nothing but helpful to him up until this point. The 4 main people from the non-militia group find the care package after one guy bitches about being hungry and being told to eat snow. Perfect timing. One of the militia dudes shows up in time to give them a crowbar and know exactly what to do with the care package. Good for them. We have a new alliance. The guy that hid in the house for so long is guiding the mama-daughter combo to a place he describes as perfect and safe, but he's not going to tell them what it is or where it is. So why is the mother following him? She hasn't trusted anyone throughout this season, and she's going to trust him as he fumbles around the forest like a lost kid? The militia still has the Korean girl handcuffed and are taking her everywhere. Why? They haven't explained why they are bringing her everywhere and why they're keeping her handcuffed and why they want to bring her along. They find the second care package as a trio of people we haven't seen before roll up. Weird how both packages have two separate groups show up at the exact same time. They needed a whole title card to say push, showing them pushing the crate, and then cut to another title card in the span of 40 seconds? Was that really necessary? After mindlessly wandering around these woods for hours, Luhu finally starts calling him a liar, despite him acting like a man-child. And then he admits, oh, we're going to a ski lodge. I can't wait for what he says to be true as a twist. Luhu wants to walk him away, to kill him, leaving her daughter behind so she won't see him be murdered. Why? They have literally killed people together multiple times. Why now does she want to shield her innocent child's eyes? And why abandon her daughter to do all of this so she could be intentionally attacked or kidnapped by zombies or other survivors? So the militia people are rationing out the package after they told the rednecks that they can have the scraps. The militia people let their guard down as the redneck trio slowly walks up and pops the militia dude in the back of the head. Why wouldn't you order them to disarm themselves or tell them to sit on the ground or anything else? Why let them wander? Or better yet, just kill them when they were barely armed. Why sit there and leave yourself open, trusting them after you said,
fuck your fair share. I'm gonna take what I want. You're gonna get the scraps, and then you're gonna fuck off.
This made no sense at all for people that have been in numerous gunfights and killed for a lot less. You're gonna trust these people you don't know after talking shit to them. These two groups have a standoff, and the Korean girl that doesn't speak any English gets in between them, wanting peace. But two conveniently spawned zombies show up to focus the gun's direction in a different way for a second so the stakes can be a bit higher. Drama! She gives the rednecks some guns as an offering so they'll walk off. Bruh, if you killed one of my friends or associates and then you turned your back on me, I would not hesitate to shoot you in the back of the head. The rednecks don't even look back as they walk away. They just take her word for it. The rednecks didn't even want food from the package either. They just want guns? Okay. So they finally decide to uncuff the Korean girl after she brokered a deal.
Put some respect on my name.
Tell me again why they brought her that far cuffed in the first place. So we cut back to the other group and the other package, and they're trying to pull this heavy ass package uphill, and no zombies get attracted to the militia dude yelling demands at the group. Look, I realize that they did show some zombies that were frozen on the hillside, but we've seen plenty of other zombies that have been running through the snow, and honestly, if the blood keeps flowing in their bodies, that would prevent them from freezing, but what do I know? I'm just a zombie YouTuber. Alright, so this is probably the dumbest shit I've seen yet in the series. This militia dude decides to be at the lowest point of the hill pushing the crate while the two women at the top are pulling with the rope. This militia dude trusted them to lug this heavy shit and expected them to not pull something like this?
I got you this box.
That's what I got you!
The militia dude here is badly injured, and he is able to grab medical supplies to try and mend himself, but is attacked by the other guy who died by being crushed by the box. I'm all for these two dying, whatever, but what happened to the two girls and the guy who were pulling it up top before? Wouldn't they want all the supplies in the crate? Why leave these two be for them to come back as zombies and make shit more difficult? The crates are full of assault rifles to dispatch zombies and tons of food to eat with some medical supplies, but you're gonna leave it behind because you just wanted to drop the box on the militia dude? Okay, what do you know? The crazy guy was right. How is Cindy Lou Who making brownies in the first place? And why is the music so intense while she's making them? I mean, I can't judge too much because I always have some kind of metal playing while I'm cooking in the kitchen.
strangle me!
Please, this one, put me down.
So they show up at this ski lodge, and it's untouched half a year into a zombie apocalypse with running electricity, running hot water, and no other people? How? I get that it's in the middle of this snowy and hard to get area. You'd think this place would have been fortified and had tons of people in it, but no, it's completely untouched. The furniture is perfect, the beds are folded, nothing is out of place. But what about, I don't know, people going there during the summer when all this started? Particularly the black summer? This guy admits he's only heard of this place and never been. Good thing he knew the general area of this massive ski resort, but nobody else in the world decided to go to this massive ski resort. Not like the nearby town that they were at earlier wouldn't have any kind of advertisements anywhere for people to see and attempt to be like, oh, we can go there for a safe haven, or at least try. This dude's banging on the drums like they don't make noise. So they decide to go to bed. I'm surprised the survivalist mom and daughter combo doesn't do anything else to secure the door before the mom falls asleep. The daughter hears loud banging and goes to investigate on her own. Why? This place is huge. Why would you go on your own? The cause of the banging sounds was a door that got open on its own. They didn't even lock the doors on this place, let alone barricade or attempt to prevent a breach of any kind? No? Just gonna hope nothing walks on in? A perfect example of when you get killed for the 20th time in a game, but you can't scream because mom and dad are asleep in the next room. The next morning, more thudding occurs as she investigates alone to find another door slamming itself in the wind. Lock all the doors, damn it! The daughter hears zombies banging in a room. Good thing she went on her own while her mom was asleep to make this dramatic title card happen. Oh, Spears was able to show up by himself to this ski lodge as well? So he is able to get there without any guidance, but no one else in the entirety of the world in half a year has done the same? They are able to eat pork chops, rotisserie chicken, and have a lot more to eat. Basically saying there's a year's worth of supplies there. Lucky for them, this place hasn't been raided or lived in by anyone that knew of it, previously worked there, or anyone else that is just walking around outside. They've had 6 months, and it still has electricity, food, and all that? Wow. The man-child guarantees 0 infected are in the ski lodge, but the daughter and Spears found a room that's full of infected. Well, they just heard it, they didn't see it. So, why not, as a group, work together to sweep the entire place and then board up all the doors that keep opening on their own so they can actually make this place safe to sleep in. Quick note, I'm sorry for not naming anyone throughout this Sins video, but that's just how forgettable their names are for me. The only guy I've been able to name is Spears, and he basically says, fuck the airstrip and trying to get on the plane. I kinda have to agree with Spears here because you don't know who's on the plane, who's piloting it, where the plane is going, what they're doing to the people when they arrive at this different location, and what might be at this airstrip. There might be hundreds of zombies there, when you can make this ski lodge into a veritable fortress. The place being untapped with power, running water, hot water mind you, and tons of food is impossibly perfect to stumble upon. The daughter says Spears is dying, so Spears hints at the idea that Luhu abandoned him after he was shot, and says he is probably only alive to repent for his past mistakes and to get answers. But why is he staying so vague about it? Because why not just get the answers right then and there from Luhu and her daughter? The daughter goes to the door to the room that's full of zombies again. Despite 2 of them declaring there's a room full of zombies, the group of 4 refuse to acknowledge it and take out this threat before it comes busting down the door and potentially killing everyone. Not a single other survivor at all shows up during the time they are casually living in this lodge. Mama Luhu says she's not sorry she abandoned Spears because she's a mom. It's my only purpose. While I do understand, I mean, if you want to live, cooperation with people that trust you is gonna be needed. You and your teenage girl who go off on their own constantly isn't gonna work long term. So basically admitting to someone that you're just gonna probably sacrifice them if the time comes is not the best idea to openly admit. The daughter suddenly kills Spears and then says this.
We're leaving.
What the fuck? She hasn't had any development throughout the season outside of killing a few times and silent screaming at a window. So she suddenly decides to kill Spears and then is like, yeah, screw this fortress. We're gonna go to the airstrip and potentially die. Oh my god, they are actually leaving the lodge already? All that food, running water, electricity, shelter, untouched, and still easily livable. What? For a chance at a plane you're not guaranteed to even get on or if it's even gonna show up again? What the actual fuck is this brain dead reasoning? I would kind of understand if they still had that ham radio and they talked to the pilot, but no, nothing ever came of that plot point. This teenage girl is deciding the fates of everyone else because she wants to ride a plane? Spank her ass, tell her to turn back around, get back in that ski lodge, and board it up. You guys are being fucking stupid. On top of that, they dropped the whole point of the room full of zombies. What was even the point of having that in the first place? It went nowhere. The man-child guy decides to run away from the two girls. Good on him considering the daughter killed Spears with no explanation, and the fact that she is forcing them to ditch the safest place they'll probably ever find. In a flashback, we see that Spears had asked the daughter to kill him. He didn't think to ask the mom, who openly said she'd do anything to protect her daughter. Nah, we gotta traumatize the teenage girl because that's the world we live in. Is this them trying to mimic Lee and Clementine's final moment without any emotional buildup? Final episode, and this bloody dude is giving a speech to us about being greedy before the plane arrives. Okay, and that's it? Well, this is one of those more easily skippable scenes that will make sense later on, but really shouldn't have been there in the first place. They arrive at the airstrip and are immediately found by a zombie, but not just any zombie, the zombie of the cool-ass man-child, because of course, he dies immediately after leaving them. He survived all that time on his own, but because the parent and child and guest are allowed to live in apocalyptic stories for the first few arcs, he had to die. Man, fuck the writers for killing him off like this. Plus 5 cents for killing off the most interesting character in this series so far. Lucky for all of these people that this coveted airstrip, where every person with like a 20-mile radius is going to, doesn't have more infected to attack them at first. Maybe it's because of budget restraints, considering a majority of this season's infected encounters have been limited to only one zombie. We get an aerial shot of every group arriving at the airstrip all at once, separated by a few buildings. I'm surprised the other groups made it at the exact same time as Cindy Lou Who and her daughter, considering they stayed 2 nights at a luxurious lodge. What? This group of 3 who was pushing the crate earlier is not armed? They had that crate full of assault weapons with plenty of ammunition, and they didn't grab a single gun? What the fuck, dude? Y'all just ditched that giant crate after epically pranking the militia dude? You didn't grab a single thing? No, because they have to be creative in stunning zombies with cinder blocks instead of it being easy for them with guns in the final episode. Why did they not get any supplies from that crate? What the fuck? Fucking stupid fucking fuckerson on a fucking platter of idiotic Fuckingham Palace. I get it, it's just a show, and no, I'm not supposed to get heated, but can you just have your characters act like they want to survive, like they're actual people, instead of being complete idiots for the plot's purpose? I'm gonna slap on 20 cents for this, and the mom, daughter, and man-child leaving the lodge in the first place. A lot of this is not making sense for me. Let's sit here and shake hands after a zombie narrowly missed us. Not like another zombie or anything will. Oh, look, you got shot. Good thing you stayed out in the open. This girl dies from her injury, turns and bites the other girl. My boy just sits there and watches for a while, long enough for another infected to show up and chase him off. You should have dipped sooner, man. Those two are not going to survive. This zombie instantly loses track of him despite him going around the corner just a few seconds ago. Also, I gotta say, of course they die at the airstrip, because any non-main characters at the final stretch of an arc like this are easily predictable to die. The Korean girl knows who Cindy Lou Who is, but doesn't do anything to communicate or infer she knows her, and instead just sits back and watches while she gets disarmed. The Korean girl stood up for the redneck trio that killed someone in her new group before, but not for Cindy Lou Who she survived with for 4 months. The other group shows up as zombies to chase them, minus the black dude. You would think other zombies would be at this airstrip, but no, it only has to be characters we somewhat know as zombies, because we can't have any other zombies. Getting behind a door just in time for zombies to slam into it, cliche. The only time this season they barricade a door, and it's the last episode. You'd think they would have wised up a lot sooner than that. Oh, so the man-child dude wasn't killed off screen because he met up with the redneck militia. He tells them where the plane will land and that he knows the pilot, and they shoot him. Wouldn't they want to keep him alive as a bargaining chip since he has such valuable information? They're about to shoot him in the head, but decide, you know what, let's let the man-child turn as a deterrent for anyone else that may show up. You don't know if there's other zombies here, and you're gonna let another one come into existence to potentially slow down anyone else that arrives? That doesn't make any sense, because if you think about it, he could turn instantly and bite you in the neck as you're walking off. That makes no sense. But no, the story has to have that moment of the man-child returning as a zombie to face Lou Who and her daughter. The redneck militia shows up in the hangar the same time the other group gets forced in by zombies, just in time to have a final conflict with every group. Again, good thing they all took the exact same amount of time to get to the airstrip so this can all happen. Discount Voss from Far Cry 3 wants to torture the militia dude for treating him badly before, saying they deserve the scraps from the previous package. Because villains always give time for main characters to devise a plan because they want revenge. The rednecks sit there and just pound the shit out of the militia dude. And while they're doing this, they tell one of the redneck guys to stand outside to guard the place in case zombies show up. Aren't there already numerous zombies outside? Why not just watch the door from the inside? Why send this guy outside? The redneck dude tells the daughter to look for a med kit in a nearby boat because his friend busted his hand while punching the militia dude, instead of going himself. Doesn't make sense because the girl could find a weapon and use it on y'all, but you're gonna trust her to find a med kit? Okay. And now for the dumbest scene in the season. Are you ready? It's pretty damn dumb. The redneck guy that went outside to run security at the door starts banging at the door.
Rick.
The three other redneck dudes debate who should go outside to help him, and apparently this door was locked behind him. You locked him outside? Okay, fine, whatever. This one redneck dude goes outside to check on the other guy, and he is just staring off into the distance with nothing, and I mean nothing else nearby. No trace of bloodshed, no signs of gunfire, or sign of any other zombies. The redneck guy is just standing there, facing a different direction, when his friend asked what's going on. He turns around and reveals he is a zombie suddenly. Wow! What the actual fuck? How did this happen? Was he bit prior to them arriving? What happened to the approaching zombies he just spoke of? Did he die on his feet and turn and decide to ignore the sound of the door opening to only acknowledge his former friend when he speaks? How did this happen? Why is he just sitting there staring into nothingness? How did he turn? What is this situation? I'm so confused. Plus 25 more sins. This did not make any sense. The newly turned infected dude from the outside jumps in and attacks, and is able to infect every other redneck there, while sparing every other person in the building, including the heavily battered militia dude, the mother-daughter combo, the Korean girl, and the Asian girl. Because how would the writers have gotten them out of that situation without a single karma zombie killing all the bad guys? It's the only logical way for them to have escaped. So everything comes full circle. We get context to this speech from earlier in the episode, despite half of these people never meeting him before, and the guys that wronged him all being slaughtered inside the hangar. He says he doesn't care that anyone dies and is about to pull the trigger on everyone there, until the plane starts landing right behind him. If he was really this distressed, he would have just killed everyone on the spot. Having second thoughts, the militia dude turns to stare at the plane, and God, she shot a flare at a conveniently placed assortment of fuel tanks and drums, causing this big of an explosion? Is this a video game where the villain always stands by an explodable barrel? How convenient! For once, an explosion actually acts like an explosion and incapacitates just about everyone there. The mom's leg is really injured, and the mom basically starts screaming at the Korean girl and her daughter, saying, "Nah, just go, bruh. I'ma shoot myself." The remaining 3 women start to run to the plane as they run past the hangar. The door the zombies have been banging at this whole time finally busts open just in time to give us a final chase scene. How convenient. The non-main character Asian lady gets swarmed by the redneck zombies because she's not a main character, so au revoir, didn't even know ya. These zombies all focus on eating the Asian woman, and none of them continue chasing the daughter or Korean girl. I've seen zombies ignore a meal to continue chasing before, but this time it's different because the plane's here. So the pilot's just gonna leave the door open, doesn't pop his head out or anything, and basically is just saying, "Hey lady, close the door whenever you feel like it. I don't care if the zombies catch up and get inside. I'm just a plot device with no human characteristics yet."
It's free real estate.
So the other black guy from the dead group from earlier arrives to see the plane flying away and to see the daughter being chased. So he decides to be a good guy and makes a lot of noise to divert their attention to him and starts to 1v1 each one of them with a hammer in tightly spaced hallways, despite each one having ample opportunity to bite him and tackle him each time he hesitates at a corner. Because it wouldn't be Black Summer without an elongated chase scene where he narrowly avoids being bitten numerous times. Okay, seriously, he doesn't get bitten in this scenario? He somehow avoids these 2 zombies and is able to hang one up dry and subdue the other. He survives this like it was just a series of QuickTime events in the Walking Dead video games. The mom wakes up to see the militia dude is crawling towards his rifle just in time to reach for her pistol so they can have this battered down showdown. How is this militia dude still conscious after being beaten to a bloody pulp and being sent flying by an explosion? Because we need these 2 characters with no history with each other to have this final showdown and give some drama for the story. The daughter is somehow able to return to this spot with no infected chasing her. This car exploded, and the only zombies to show up are the zombies of the main cast. Nothing else was drawn to this loud of a noise. You'd think there'd be more zombies at an airstrip. The militia dude and mom are just staring each other down with guns drawn, while the daughter is able to easily find a working car with keys in the ignition to drive over for pickup. What the hell is that convenience? She found a car that easily? And to end things off for this group, the daughter just stares blankly in the car, not trying to get her mom in or anything. Nothing to worry about, despite the loud ass explosion that's probably going to draw the attention of more zombies, your mom's potentially life-threatening injuries from the explosion, or anything else. Let's just sit here, breathing heavily and doing nothing. So the Korean girl named Sun, yep, I finally remembered her name. I'm happy the plane she ends up in has a Korean-speaking pilot so she can finally communicate with someone. You know what that means. Welcome to Plane to Busan. And And that's how the season ends. Overall, another mediocre and forgettable series of disjointed events, of stupid survivors making stupid decisions that put them in stupid situations with zombies that come back instantly but only show up solo when chasing people, where only female characters from the first season stood a chance of surviving. Overall, it was dreadfully boring throughout, and I spent more time laughing at dramatic scenes that were not made for comedy. On top of that, I noticed myself really not paying attention during dialogue-heavy scenes with characters that I felt wouldn't matter because they're not a part of the main cast of the mother-daughter combo. I knew they were gonna die, so I didn't invest myself. And what do you know? I was right. When a series and the people that review the series tout how the show is intense and shocking for how any character could die at any moment in a split second, it unintentionally really puts you in a state of, why should I care about anyone or get invested in the story? Because I know what characters that are gonna survive and which characters are just gonna be kill fodder. Why do you think I never directly named anyone in this Sins video? Because none of these characters were worth naming and remembering, in my opinion. Plus one more sin so we can finally be done. God, my voice needs a break.
Damn you! A